Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create the Kinetic Bloom bracelet created by 7284 Christy on Instagram. I've done a lot of tutorials for her in the past, and as always, I will have her information linked down below. I'm really excited about this design. It is a 6-bar wide design that is reversible and looks identical on both the front and the back. You will need 302 bands for a full wraparound bracelet today. And the breakdown of that is 73 of the white, 73 of the black, 116 of this coral, and 40 of the pink. You will also want to have 4 either crochet clips or 4 C-clips because we will be extending this bracelet using the transfer method. So with that being said, grab your hook as well and I will show you guys the loom setup. To get started, you're going to have 6 bars wide, and you're going to set up the 2 middle ones aligned right next to each other. You'll stagger the outer ones going downwards so that your loom looks like this. We're going to do an extension to create a full-length bracelet using the transfer method. So if you don't know what that means, we're going to lay the bands and loop them, and then sit that small piece to the side. We will lay the bands again, and then before we loop them, we will reconnect the first piece onto the loom and then loop it all up, and it will make one long bracelet. So to get started, we're going to grab the white bands first. And we are going to start it actually on the second pin in from the sides. You're just going to lay that going diagonal to the corner, and then we'll go straight. And we're going to go diagonal to the left 2 times. I know it may look a little weird at first, but you'll see it once we get going. We have to do the same thing on the left side. So from the second pin in from the corner, we're going to lay a diagonal band, and then we will go straight, and then we're going to go diagonal to the right 2 times. From there, we're going to go diagonal to the right, and then straight, and then diagonal to the left. So this time we're making a smaller one. We have to do the same thing on the left. So we will lay it going diagonal to the left, straight, and diagonal to the right. So we have to now go back to making the bigger section this time. So right where we end it, we will go out to the right. This time we're going to do it 2 times, then straight, and then we will go into the left 2 times. We have to do the same thing now on this side of the loom. So we will go out to the left 2 times. Then we will go straight and back in to the right 2 times. We have to do one more small one. So I will go diagonal right, straight, diagonal left, and then repeat on the left side. And then to end off the white, we are going to end it by laying 2 straight ones like that. We will have an empty row on the middle pins. It's meant to be like that. So go through, take a second and push these down, and we will then choose our next color. So now we're going to choose the black bands, and they kind of intertwine in there. And this part can get a little bit trickier, at least it was for me at first. So we're just going to do a little bit of the right and then a little bit of the left, and then we'll kind of like work our way down the loom. So we're going to start on the 3rd pin in from the right side, and we're going to start by laying that going straight. Then we're going to go diagonal to the right twice. From there we're going to go straight and then diagonal in towards the left, and we're going to stop right there. We're now going to come to the left side and mirror that same exact thing. So on this pin here, we'll go straight, and then we'll lay it diagonal 2 times to the left, lay it straight, and then diagonal to the right. So you can see it looks exactly the same on both sides. So we're going to come back onto the right side and pick up where we left off. So we will go to the right, straight, and now we're going to go to the left 2 times this time. We're going to come over here on the left and mirror that same thing. So where we left off, we're going to go diagonal to the left, straight, and then we're going to go to the right 2 times. So you can see how we made that shape now. From there, we're going to come back to this right side, and we're going to go to the right 2 times, straight, and diagonal to the left. We're going to come to the left side and mirror that same thing. So I'm going to the left twice, straight, and diagonal to the right. We're going to come back to the right side. We're going to go diagonal to the right, straight, and this time we're going to go ahead and finish off and go to the left twice. We're going to come to the left side where we left off, and we're going to go diagonal to the left, straight, and to the right 2 times. So take a second and push those down some, and then we're going to choose our next color. So now we're going to fill in the centers with the coral flower color. And they are not all laid exactly the same, so make sure you do pay attention and keep watching because it does switch a little bit. So we're going to come up to the 3rd pin. It's the 3rd pin in and the 3rd pin up, so right here. And we're going to start laying a flower shape. From this center pin, we're going to go to the surrounding pins around it. There will be 5 bands total that we are laying. So this one here, the 3rd one, is a long stretched one, and then we will lay the remaining 2 like that. From this pin right here, we're going to go to the surrounding pins around that one as well, and there will be 5 on that side as well. Like so. Before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and grab one more band, and we're going to place a cap band on just one of the pins. When we're all done, we'll come back later with our hook and stretch it over to connect to the other side. So we're going to go ahead and lay our next one. So we're going to come up to the next open pins that have no bands on it. I'm going to start on the left side, and we're going to start the same way, except this time we're only laying 4 bands. So from this pin, we're going to go to the surrounding pins that surround it. But again, this time there's only 4 that we're laying. Like so. And now do the same thing from this center pin to the surrounding ones on the right side. Once again, I'm going to grab one more band, and I'm going to place a cap band on the center of one of the pins, and then we'll come back later and stretch it across. So we're done our small one right here. We're going to skip the pins where our black meet in the middle and come up to the next empty ones. That's where our next flower bands will start, and we will have 5 per side this time, again like we did the very first time. So from this pin here, I will start going to all the surrounding pins, and you will have 5 bands when this half is done. Like so. We're going to do the right half from this pin here. Don't forget that long stretched one. I almost just forgot about it. Like that. And then we're going to place a cap band on the center of one of them for now. We have one more to do, and this one is going to be our smaller flower, so we will only be having 4 per half. So from this center pin here, go to the surrounding 4 pins to the left. Do the right side as well. And place your cap band in the center. We do have more bands to lay, but I'm going to turn my loom around and grab my hook for a second. We're going to locate the cap band on each pin and stretch it over so it's wrapping around both of them. There should be a total of 4 cap bands that you need to stretch over and connect. like so. So turn your loom back around, and we're now going to choose our next color. So that color that we're going to lay is the mother of pearl that sits here. And we're going to be laying them on the sides. So we actually need to locate where that small flower is. And this pin right here is where we're going to be laying them. If you have to count, it's the 5th pin up from the top. From there, we're going to go out to the side pins and laying these 3 just like that. After you lay that, you can go ahead and place a regular cap band right on top. You're going to come straight over and do the same thing on the left side. And we're going to lay 3 bands coming from that pin right there. Place a cap band on top. We have to come now to the end of our loom. So come all the way down and locate your next small flower. And if you're looking at the end of your loom, where your bands end, you're just going to come up to the 2nd pin right here, and that's where we will lay our last one. So 2nd pin up from the bottom, and then you will go to the surrounding 3 pins like this. Go ahead and place a cap band on top, and then we would do that last one over here on the left side. And we will place a cap band on top. So we're going to go ahead and turn our loom around. And you're going to want to grab one more of whatever color you used right here where my black is. And we're going to place one more cap band on the front center pin. And then I'll use my hook and I will stretch that over so that it is connecting to the front of both center pins. So to start looping, the first thing we're going to do is loop the bands that we just laid. These side bands that have 3 of them. We're just going to go right into that cap band and loop them all back to themselves. Now this first one can end up popping the cap band off. So you do want to do it carefully. If you have to use your finger to hold that cap band down, you may want to do that. But you're going to go in, grab that band, bring it back to itself. Go back into the cap band, grab the next one in line, and you're just going to keep looping them out like so. We're going to come over to the left side and do the same thing, going into the cap band, grabbing the top one, looping that down, and loop the remaining ones back to themselves. We're going to move up the loom all the way up here and locate our next side little bands here. I don't even know what to call them. Half starburst, I guess. We're going to go into that cap band and loop them out the same exact way. Just remember to be careful because you will pop that cap band off if you're not. Do the left side. Once you get that first one looped down, you should be good. It won't pop off after that. Right, usually it doesn't for me. So now that those 4 are looped out, we're going to come back down to the beginning, and we're now going to loop the coral flower bands out. So we'll start right here with the first one. We're going to go into the cap band that we made. We're going to loop this down. And just like we did with the side bands, we're just going to keep going back into this cap band and looping the coral bands all back to the pins that they are coming from. So I did the right half. Now I'm going to come over here and do the left. Like so. We're going to locate the cap band of our next coral flower, which is right here. We're going to do the same thing. You may want to push this one down just to give you a little bit more room. We're going to go into the cap band, start with the most top one, and then just keep going in and looping them out. I would say this part is pretty straightforward. The side ones are a long stretch. I forgot to mention that, but I'm sure you guys will figure that out. All right, so we have them both 2 looped out. And now we need to do the same thing up here with these flowers. So continue going into your cap bands, getting all of your flowers looped back to themselves. Alrighty, so now that we have that all looped out, I am going to just push them down a little bit, but we're going to come back to the beginning and we're going to loop the black bands now. And I feel like this part's really easy because you literally just follow the black bands wherever they go. Okay, so we're going to start with the cap band. We are just going to do the whole right side first. You're just going to grab the black and loop it back to itself. You're going to keep going into the pin and grabbing the very bottom band, at least for now, and looping it back to itself. And we're going to follow the black bands up and around. When you get to this pin here, you're still just grabbing the black, but it won't be the most bottom band because we have layers underneath of there. So just push back the top layers and make sure you are grabbing the band that you're supposed to be, which is the black one or whatever color you have going right here. We're just going to keep following the shape of those black bands all the way up. Like that. And now you have to do the left half of those same bands. So come back to the cap band and we're going to follow them all the way up just like we did on the right side. So go ahead and get this side looped up and then I will show you what we're going to do next. So this is what it will look like once both sides of the black bands are looped up. And now we're going to do that exact same process. We're going to start by going into the cap band and grabbing the very bottom band and just following the shape of those white bands or whatever color you used. We're just going to keep on following it. Now it will always be the very bottom band on the pin that you're grabbing. And you're just going to loop it exactly the same way that it was laid. I feel like this bracelet takes a while only because of maybe laying them, but I feel like looping them is actually pretty straightforward. Hopefully you guys agree. Alright, so I followed them all the way up. I have no more white left on the right side, so we're going to come back to the beginning. And we're going to go into the cap band and do the left half of those same white bands. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get this looped up. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So I'll be a little bit ahead of you guys, but once you're caught up, you're going to need to grab your clips, whether it's crochet clips or C-clips. And we need to clip these 4 pins here. So we need to make sure we're getting both bands on each one of these pins in our C-clip or whatever clip you're using. Mine is broke there, so I'm going to use a C-clip for that. And then keep going to each pin here and getting them on your clips. I am going to start with my hook. I like to hold the clip, release them to make sure that the C-clip doesn't pop off, but go ahead and start using your hook to remove the bracelet off of the loom. So I did get my piece off. This is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and sit this to the side for now. We're going to grab our loom. We will have to start laying the bands all over again, but the way that it starts and ends with the bands will not be exactly identical as the first set that we laid, so make sure you are watching and paying attention to that. So we will start with the same color that we did the first time, so go ahead and get your white bands ready. And we're going to start by laying one across the 2 center pins, and that will be for closing it completely up later. And now we're going to start laying one of the small shapes like we did the very first time. So we'll go diagonal right, straight, and diagonal to the left. And we have to mirror that on the left side. And now we have to make that big shape. So where we ended on the right, we'll go out to the right twice, straight, and then into the left twice. Mirror that on the left side. So we'll go diagonal twice, straight, and then into the right. And we have to alternate between laying the small shape and the big shape down the loom. So now I would do the small one. And now we would do the big one. When we do the big one, you have to go out twice. Repeat on the left side. I am moving a little faster since this is the second loom set. And we have to lay the small one more time. So to finish off, we do have to lay 2 more white bands. So on the right side, we're just going to go like that, diagonal to the right, and like that to the left. So you can put your white bands away now. Take a second to push these down, and then we will go on to laying our black bands. So with the black, we're going to be starting right here on the second row, and we're going to go diagonal, straight, and then into the left twice. We're going to repeat that on the opposite side. My AC just kicked on, so it might get a little loud in the background. We're going to come back over to the right, and we're going to go diagonal to the right 2 times. We'll go straight and diagonal into the left just once. We're going to come to the left side and do that same thing. Like so. And now we're going to come back outward. So I'll go to the right and go out to the right, straight, and diagonal into the left 2 times. We're going to come back over here and do the same thing. So we'll go to the left, straight, and diagonal to the right 2 times. From there, we're going to come back to the right side and go out to the right twice, straight, and diagonal to the left. Come to the left, mirror the same thing. And we're going to come back over here to the right and finish off. We're going to go to the right, straight, and we're actually going to stop right there. Do the same thing on the left side, go diagonal out and straight. We're going to stop laying bands for a minute and turn our loom around. We're going to grab the bracelet that we had to the side, and we're going to be reattaching this now. So it doesn't matter which side of the bracelet is facing up because it is exactly the same on either side, but we're going to be applying these outer white bands onto these 2 pins here. So the left one will go here, the right one will go here. So you do want to make sure that you're applying the band. You want the bracelet like facing like this when you go to apply it. You don't want it turned like this because then it will fall apart. So make sure your bracelet is faced like this. Grab the C-clip, and you want to make sure that that entire band right there that the C-clip is going through gets back on to this pin. So I just pull and stretch on the C-clip as I place that entire band onto the pin. Sorry, I zoomed in a little too much. Like that. So I can see that the entire band is on that pin. I need to now do the same thing to this right side. So I'm just going to stretch it over. I'm making sure that it's completely straight and it is not twisted like this. It's completely straight, and now I'm just going to stretch it over. If you have to use your hook to go through the middle of the bands here, that's fine too. You're just getting both of those bands reattached to there, and now I can go ahead and remove my clips. So now what we need to do is we're going to come over to this pin right here where we just attached that white. We're going to grab the top band only, just one band. We're going to take it up off of the pin and stretch it down here and sit it on this outer pin. I didn't do any kind of twisting. I just picked it up and moved it down there. I'm going to push it down a little. We need to do the same thing to this one. I do recommend turning your loom a little bit. I'm going to grab the top band, take it off of the pin, and stretch it down here. It just needs to be sat there for right now. Now we need to grab the color that you were using right here, my black, and we're going to lay a diagonal band right here and do the same on the left side. Now that we have those laid, now we can reattach these two clips. So this one right here will go to that pin, and this clip right here will go to that one. But once again, you want to make sure that you're not twisting it when you reapply it. So I stretched the bracelet a little bit and I tried to hold it with my thumb. I locate the band. I can see that it's already not twisted, it's straight. If you have to use your fingers or your hook to stretch that band open, just make sure that both bands are getting onto that pin. So we need to get this side connected now. So I'm going to locate the band. I need to get through that opening right there and get that back on the pin. So if you have your hook or your fingers and you can just open it, then it's a lot easier to just stretch it onto that pin. It really depends. I think my nails maybe help with that, but maybe your hook and your hand stretching it. Just make sure that both bands are applied like that, and then you can remove your other clip like so. So now we need to move these bands just like we did with the white ones. So I'm going to grab the top band only of the black, remove it from the pin, and without any twisting, I'm going to sit it right on this pin. I'm going to do the same thing to this one, grabbing only the top band, taking it off of the pin, stretching it over, and attaching it there. We just need to sit it there until a little bit later. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and turn our loom back around and keep laying our other bands. So we're going to be laying our flower bands again in the center, starting with our coral, and where this small white is where we're going to do the small flower. So this is where we will lay 4 on one side from that center pin, and then do the right side. Where the black meets in the middle is where we're going to skip. And then this is where the next opening is. So this is where our larger flower will go. So this is where we will have 5 per side. So we're going to go ahead and get those laid. And then we're going to come up to the next opening and we will lay our smaller one again. We're going to skip where that black meets, and then we're going to come up to the opening, and we're going to start with the big one and then lay the small one here, just like we did previously. Like so. So now we need to place a cap band on the centers of all of our flowers, and then we will use our hook to stretch them over. Just make sure you're getting them on the centers. Alright, I have them all stretched, so I'm going to turn my loom back around, and the last thing we have to do is fill in those side bands. So I'm going to grab my pink, and the first ones that we're going to lay are going to be right here from the second pin, and they will go to the 3 surrounding pins. Don't forget to put a cap band on top, and do the same on the left side. We're going to come up to our next small flower, so we're not going to do anything on this section. We're going to come up, locate this small flower, and we're going to be connecting it to these 3 surrounding pins. If you're looking at the petals on the small flower, it's the second petal, and then you will lay your surrounding pins from there, or bands from there, to the surrounding pins, and cap band it. Do the same on the left, and then you will have to do this one more time to the last flower at the end of the loom, which is right here and here. All right, so we have everything laid. We can turn our loom back around facing us, and now we can start looping everything out again. So we're going to start looping it the same way we did the first time. We're going to go into the cap band, and we're going to loop out all of these side pink bands. But remember, the cap band does want to pop off, so when you go to loop the first one down, just be careful. So go ahead and get all of these side little half flowers looped out, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so I have all of my side petals looped out. Make sure you got all of them. If anyone noticed, I noticed that I had to loop this one in a different order. I must have laid them in a different order. It doesn't matter if you notice that I did that, as long as you loop them all back to themselves. It doesn't matter the order that they were laid. But okay, so once that's done, now we need to continue looping our main flowers, and you're going to do all of these steps exactly the same way as well, going in and looping each one of these back to themselves, and you're going to continue to do that. You will continue going through the centers of each of the cap bands to loop each of these flowers out. So go ahead and get all of those looped out, just like we did the first time. Okay, so all of mine are looped out now. So once you're caught up, we'll come down to the beginning, and we are going to start looping our black bands out. So in order to start looping those bands, we need to grab this black band that we had sitting down here temporarily. We're going to pick it up. I'm going to actually do it from out here. We're just going to pick it up off of the pin without any twisting, and you're just going to sit it right back on top of the pin that it was coming from. So right on top of that pink petal. We're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to turn my loom to grab it so I don't twist the band. So I'm going to take it off the pin. I'm going to move my loom so I don't twist the band, get it back on there. And that's what it should look like. So from there, now we can, starting in those pins, now we can start looping up the black bands. So when you go into this pin here, there is 3 layers you have to move. So 1 black, 2 pink, and another black. So once you get through those, the next band that you're grabbing will be this diagonal band. That's the one that you're looping back to itself. And then from there, you're just going to keep following it all the way up and around. I'm just going to do that all the way up the loom. That's where it will stop at the top. And now you have to do the left half of it. So this is the pin you're starting in right here. Just be careful when you go down in there. Make sure you're grabbing the diagonal band. Bring it back. And now we will follow this all the way up and around the same way. So go ahead and get that half looped up, and then I'll meet you back here and we'll do the white. So I'll definitely be ahead of you. I just want to show you what mine looks like once I reach the top. So now all we have to do is come back to the beginning and finish off the white. So we're going to do the same thing that we did the first time when we moved the black bands over. We're going to grab this white band down here. You're going to pick it up without twisting, and you're just going to sit it back on the pin. You do going to have to turn your wrist with this one a little bit to get it back on there, but you can see that I have no twisting in the band there. So while we're down here, I'm just going to go ahead and have you move the left one as well. We're going to pick it up off the pin and sit it right here. Once you get it on there, push it down so you don't accidentally pop it off. And now we're just going to go into this pin, grab the very bottom band, which is going to be that diagonal white, and we will start looping that up the same way. So we will now keep following it all the way up. The same way they're laid is the same way we will loop it. So go ahead and get these white bands all looped up, and then you're going to come back down to the left side and do the same thing. Follow that all the way up, and I'll meet you guys back here at the top. So once you reach the top of the loom, both sides are looped up. We have that one band down here left for closing it up. So we do need to reach down into the top pin, grab that bottom band, and then bring the other end with it together, and that is where we will attach our C-clip to close it up once and for all. You do want to be careful that you have the C-clip securely on this around both, because you don't want all that hard work to go to waste. So once I see that both bands are on that C-clip, I still hold it, and I use my hook to release some of these top bands up here before I let it go. I do recommend you using your hook to release this bracelet, just because it is kind of hard to just like pop off. Even up here, I'm still a little worried that that C-clip will pop off. So I'm going to still hold on to it and remove some of these up here, because there's a lot of tension on that C-clip. Once I have this whole top section off, there we go. Now I feel better letting it go. But now I would go through with your hook and release the entire bracelet. So once I get it off my loom, sometimes it can be a little wonky because of how we have to use the hook and get it all off of there. So I do like to stretch it like this. And sometimes these bands look a little bit messy in there if they're overlapping too much. So if you stretch them out in different directions, it can help them sit a little bit better if they're like all laying on top of each other. This one came out pretty good, but most of the others I did have to stretch it a little bit. But a little bit of stretching in different directions can really help it. And then you're going to just locate that cap band down here and connect the other end of your C-clip, like so. And there you have the completed Kinetic Bloom bracelet, created by 7284 Christy on Instagram. I thank her so much for another gorgeous design. Hopefully this video isn't too long or hard for you guys. I think it's more of an easier one. It just takes a long time to make it. But yeah, if you guys like it, don't forget to tag her and myself. Also hit the like button down below if it was helpful. I thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks guys. Bye.